Here's what we learnt about LaMelo Ball facing off against Zion Williamson in one of the craziest games. Now, the actual game, if you watch it, a lot of you guys would have watched it. I think there was 70,000 people in the live stream from what I remember, and I ended up watching the game a couple of hours later, but the reason why it was crazy is because this game of LaMelo Ball facing off against Zion is the first time that they've ever faced off against each other. And to be honest with you, both players lived up to the expectations. Zion Williamson showed his athleticism and finished with 31 points and 8 rebounds, whilst LaMelo Ball finished with 36 points, 9 assists, as well as 6 rebounds. And LaMelo Ball is 1 year younger than everybody else pretty much, so it was a pretty crazy game. Also, shout out to Ball is Life for the highlights. They uploaded it on their channel, and they've uploaded a lot of my content on their website, so I really appreciate them, and I wanted to return the favor. So this video is brought to you by Ball is Life. Go check them out if you haven't already. But with that said, let's get on to the video, because what we learned throughout this game is pretty crazy. In what has claimed to be one of the most highly anticipated AAU matchups ever, LaMelo Ball faced off against Zion Williamson. Now, this has claimed to be one of the most highly anticipated AAU matchups ever since LeBron James in 2002 and 2003. This game was insane. 80,000 viewers tuned in at one point, and I mean, the amount of spectators jammed into the court was insane. ESPN reported that the game was almost cancelled due to security concerns, which means that it was packed. The amount of people that were at this game was insane, and it deserved to be insane. Zion Williamson is a monster, crazy athleticism, and I can almost guarantee that everybody watching this video knows who LaMelo Ball is. I mean, his dad is LeVar Ball, one of the craziest guys I think I've ever heard in my life. His brothers are LiAngelo and Lonzo Ball, who just won the Summer League MVP. LaMelo has the crazy hype around him, and he looks like a really promising young player. Just to give you an insight on how hyped this game was, obviously there were NBA players such as Damian Lillard, Thon Maker, and Andrew Wiggins, and of course, obviously, Lonzo Ball, who wanted to support his younger brother. But what's even more crazy is that LeBron James was going to show up to the game, but he was told by his personnel to not show up to the game as it was too chaotic and that there was too many people. So even before the game had even started, it was madness. Now, let's break the game down, because if you guys watched the game, the entire game wasn't even that amazing. There were parts that were awesome. Their highlights look amazing considering that, well, these two players are the future of the NBA. These guys will both most likely get drafted top 3 in my opinion, but it could easily be top 10 throughout the next couple of years as other players tend to move up the rankings. But let's break it down. Let's look at LaMelo Ball's performance first. Apart from the fact that LaMelo had 34 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, is obviously really impressive. But Melo outscored and, in my opinion, out-assisted Zion Williamson, which shouldn't be a surprise as Melo is obviously a facilitator at the point guard position. That's where he plays the game as a point guard, and Zion's obviously a taller, bigger, and stronger player playing more of a big man type role, but his athleticism is something else. Anyway, LaMelo was obviously the better passer, and he took a few bad shots, with obviously, it's unexcusable some of the shots he takes. That's something he almost needs to get out of his game if he wants to make it to the next level. And to be honest with you, I can't see him doing those type of shots in the NBA. But with that said, at times throughout this game, LaMelo Ball looked like his older brother, Lonzo Ball, being able to facilitate the game really well, and his core vision was not bad in this one. Not to mention, LaMelo Ball always gets a lot of criticism regarding his defense and lack of effort, but in this game, he played relatively well on the defensive end. His help defense was pretty good, and obviously, a lot of people look back on his 92-point performance in February and give him a lot of criticism because, well, in that game, it's fair to say that he didn't play that much defense. He pretty much cherry-picked the entire game. In this game, though, LaMelo showed that he's not as bad as some people make him out to be on defense. A few other things to note about this game is that he beat Devin Dunstan, a 4-star guard and a guy that looks like he'll be in the first round in the 2018 NBA draft. Not only that, as previously mentioned, he made other players play better on his team. He often found open teammates in the corner or driving to the basket, and this is exactly what his older brother did, Lonzo, which he has replicated in the NBA Summer League. So for him, it looks really good and really promising. The thing is though, he did commit 8 turnovers, and he obviously had a lot of ill-advised 3-pointers, but that's something he can work on, and I'm sure once he gets to the higher levels, especially in UCLA in college, he'll definitely have the chance to work on that aspect of his game. In saying that though, I really want to compare Lonzo and LaMelo at the same age, so let me know if you'd like me to make a video on that. Anyway, let's get on to Zion Williamson's performance, because this is where it gets interesting. He posted 31 points and 8 rebounds in a 12-point victory, so in other words, he won and he had a really good stat line. The thing about Zion Williamson is he has the main thing that people want to watch from any player in the NBA in terms of athleticism. The man can throw it down. I mean, some of his dunks are absolutely insane. He is literally unstoppable in transition, and I mean, when you think about it, anyone that tries to get in his way will either get posterized or he'll just finish around them with incredible acrobatic layups. In saying that, when I look back and watch the game, he shot 31% from the free throw line, which is absolutely appalling. I mean, when you think about it, 6 of 19 from the charity stripe is terrible, and in a way you could argue that it almost brought the Big Baller Brown team back in the game. So when you think about that, that's one of his flaws, just like LaMelo's flaw is, well, taking ill-advised shots. So obviously these guys are young. They will have flaws. Every NBA player that has ever made it to the NBA has flaws in high school or college. It's just what happens. So don't think that when these guys have shooting performances that are terrible or free throw performances that are terrible, it just happens. They will be accustomed to learning how to shoot free throws or learning how to shoot better percentages, and that is what young players learn on their way up to the NBA. So if they didn't have things to work on, then that would be a bad thing for them because they wouldn't be in the gym working as hard. So in a way, obviously having disadvantages like not being able to shoot free throws isn't a good thing, but it's also a good thing in a way because it puts them in the gym and makes them work harder. In saying that, apart from the horrible free throw percentage, it's fair to say that Williamson had an awesome game. I mean, it wasn't really how he meant to start the game, as he didn't even record a point over the 11-minute mark, but other than that, when he started to score, he was pretty much impossible to stop. And obviously the fans got an awesome show with Zion Williamson, as they do every game that he suits up for. When Zion Williamson is playing and you're watching him play, he will do some incredible things. His athleticism is something that is unmatched, and he's another guy that I want to make a video on, so let me know if you'd like to see a Zion Williamson video. And with that being said, a lot of people wanted me to make a Zion Williamson and LaMelo Ball video comparing the two players, but you can't compare and you can't argue who is better. Both of them play different positions, both are great players, and both have incredible futures looking to make the NBA. This game was an awesome matchup, and I don't think that there should be any reason to actually compare the two players. Just admire what they do on the court and admire what they'll bring to the future of basketball. And once again, a lot of people haven't been talking about it, but I watched the entire game when I got home from school, and honestly, the actual game wasn't as hyped up as it was meant to be. They didn't dominate, they didn't play amazing, but they did what they were meant to do, and overall it was a good game, but not as great as it could have been. With that said though, we saw Zion Williams face off against LaMelo Ball. It's pretty dope. I can't wait to get into actual videos on LaMelo and Zion Williamson separately. I will make videos on them if you guys want. And with that being said, let me know what you think about this video. Now, if you guys haven't watched my latest video about the LeBron James conspiracy theory, we talk about his half-brother and who his father might be. It is the best video that I've ever made on my channel, so if you guys haven't watched that, go check it out. The link is in the description box down below. And with that said, if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy NBA content, I'm coming up with a lot of high school and college videos in the future, so be sure to subscribe and leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.